Because of why I search the deep through endless nights, no time to sleep. The call inside I can't deny. I'll find the light because of why.
Ah, Portugal. You've probably seen it all over your feed, right? The headlines, the influencers, all calling it Europe's sunny, affordable paradise. But is that the whole story? Today, we're going to look past those picture-perfect coastlines and really dive into what's happening on the ground. Because, you see, for every digital nomad living their best life on a budget, there's a local family that's struggling just to afford rent in their own hometown. It's really a tale of two Portugals, and we're going to explore both sides of the coin. Okay, so let's start with the myth itself. How did Portugal get this reputation as the ultimate affordable dream? Well, at first glance, the answer seems pretty simple. It's right there in the numbers. I mean, when you put Portugal side by side with its neighbors like Germany or France, it's kind of a no-brainer. The cost of just about everything, we're talking food, healthcare, you name it, is way, way lower. This is the foundation, the very bedrock of that cheap Portugal dream that's pulled in so many people from all over. And then you get to housing, and wow, that's where the appeal gets even clearer. If you're moving from a big city in the US or Northern Europe and you see these rental prices, especially in gorgeous spots like Coimbra or Braga, you're probably thinking you've hit the jackpot. But, and this is a big but, that bargain feels completely different when you're earning a local salary. For a huge number of Portuguese citizens, this so-called dream is actually turning into a daily nightmare. And look, you don't have to take my word for it. This comment from a Portuguese native who felt like they had to leave their own country, it just cuts right to the heart of the issue. This isn't just about prices going up, it's about this massive gap that's growing between those prices and what people can actually afford to earn. Okay, here's where the dream just collides with the hard wall of basic math. The average monthly salary in Portugal, it's sitting right around 1,200 euros. But in Lisbon, the absolute minimum rent for a small apartment starts at 700 euros. Think about that. That's more than half your income, before taxes, gone, before you've even bought a single loaf of bread. The numbers just don't work.
So, with a growing crisis like this, it's totally natural that people start asking, who's to blame? Or what's to blame? Let's take a quick look at the usual suspects.
And I'm sure this story sounds familiar. You've got wealthy foreigners pricing out the locals, apartments disappearing from the rental market to become Airbnbs, and government policies designed to bring in foreign cash. It's a narrative that's playing out in popular cities all over the globe. But here's where we really need to pump the brakes. Because while it's super easy to point the finger at the new folks moving in, the data suggests that's a massive oversimplification of a much, much deeper problem. Just take a look at this breakdown. Of all the immigrants in Portugal, around 750,000 of them, Americans, who often get a lot of the heat in these online debates, make up just over 1%. 1%! The British are at 2%. The numbers make it pretty clear. Blaming one or two nationalities just doesn't add up. So if that easy answer isn't the real answer, what is actually going on? Well, this is where it gets super interesting. Economists who studied this whole situation in Portugal found something that is way more puzzling than it looks on the surface. So the first piece of the puzzle is something called an inelastic housing supply. Now, that sounds complicated, but think of it like this. It's like a rubber band that just won't stretch. Even as prices and demand are shooting through the roof, Portugal simply isn't building new houses fast enough to keep up, which keeps the supply of homes artificially low. And the second factor, which might be even more powerful, is something called the momentum effect. This is pure market psychology. It's about hype. People see prices going up, they get a serious case of FOMO, fear of missing out, so they jump in, which drives prices even higher. At that point, the market is totally disconnected from reality, like local salaries. It's just running on vibes. So you mix this rigid housing supply with a market that's basically fueled by speculation, and you get what economists have started calling a conundrum. It's a situation that just defies the normal rules and suggests there are some powerful, almost irrational forces at work here.
Okay, so after peeling back all those layers, the myth, the tough local reality, and the really complex economics, let's get back to where we started. That big question, is Portugal actually cheap?
And the answer really is that cheap is totally relative. It all depends on who you are. If you're a remote worker earning a US salary and you're living in a smaller town, then yeah, Portugal can feel unbelievably affordable. But if you're a local in Lisbon, watching your rent double while your paycheck stays the same, it probably feels like one of the most expensive places on earth.
And that leaves us with a much bigger, more profound question. One that goes way beyond Portugal's borders. In this super connected world we live in, when a place gets labeled a hidden gem and just blows up online, we have to stop and ask, who is really benefiting from that discovery, and who, ultimately, is paying the price? This is a conversation that's happening all over the world. Is it happening where you live? We would absolutely love to hear your story, so drop it in the comments below. And hey, if you found this explainer useful, you know what to do. Hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives just like this one. Thanks for watching.